Hi, welcome back to Nikki and Carly's podcast. We're happy to have you. So we did put out a post last week, and it was really fun because we just wanted to remind everybody to like and subscribe. So we don't get to see your comments while we're on, so it's fun to read them after and see what really made you giggle and what really made you kind of laugh at your soul. I know last week we started off giggling, but I think we got past it finally. So hey, Carly, how are you?
Good, good. Hi, everybody. Thanks for listening. Glad to be here again. What's going on, sister? What happened this week?
Well, it's been kind of a quiet week here because we've had that freeze. So it's super cold, like 18 degrees when we wake up in the morning, which like I'm a Florida girl. So the only salt I drive on is the beach. So I'm like, I'm in. But but I did go out today, so I mean, I have been braving the storm. there's, there's no ice this time. Last week, I guess it was, we had a snowstorm. We had probably about 5 inches of snow, so that was kind of fun because it's like enough snow to actually play in. But our driveway doesn't get the sun, so it was ice for a long time. So I was like, okay, you need to go out and shovel this because you cannot afford to fall. And so I was out shoveling the driveway, and my sweet, sweet neighbor came out, and he was like, Nicole, let me get my shovel and help you. I'm like, please, please don't. I'm like, I cannot be outshined by you with a shovel. He's like in his late 70s, and I was like, no, no, you can't come out. And I'm like, please let me work out a little bit. I need to get some physical activity. So yeah, so it's been fun. But um, let's see, what did I do this week? Uh, oh, I had a Botox party again, so that was
Nice.
fun.
You
Oh,
look
look,
good.
look, look. I'm so
It's
mad at you.
working.
I'm so mad at you. well,
I'm glad you can be so open about it. Like,
well, my
I'm
neighbor
well
like
prepared.
my neighbor like got all over me about it. Like it's not, you shouldn't do it. Why do you need to do it? Blah blah blah. And like I'm like, okay, like it's sweet that he cares. But I'm like,
Hmm.
no, if I stop doing it now, I'm gonna be like Rapunzel's stepmom when she doesn't get the hair. Like, give me the hair. Like I'm gonna like all wrinkle up. Not really, but I feel better when I have it. So
Your Botox reminds me of when you got us all to get. You had a party, and and at your party was this like snail sperm lotion
yeah,
that
snail
you
eucerin.
sold us all on, so we all bought it and have it. I don't know if you
I
got
gave
it
it
for
to
us.
you all for Christmas. Yeah, I gave you each one for
Yeah,
Christmas.
and then every time I would go and rub it on my hands and I go to put it on, and it would stream across my mouth, like
Well,
in
because
my mouth. I'm like, oh, that's snail sperm. That's
yeah.
so gross.
Well, it's funny because I gave it to mom and I was like, "Are you using it?" She's like, "Yeah, I love it. It really works." And I'm like, "Don't get it on your lips." She's like, "Why?" And I told her. She was like, "What?" so now every time it goes across your lips, you're like, I can't do
Every
it."
time, like I have to literally, if I don't want it on my mouth, I have to like focus and be like, stream it across first,
why,
then put it on.
why does the rest of your skin look so good, but your lips are a little dry? Your
That's
lips are all
why.
wrinkled up like you're a smoker.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But
that stuff works really good though. It was like a number one product, so I've been trying to start
yeah,
using it again because I'm so dry. But
yeah, I'm out of it. I actually need to order some more.
well, I was out of makeup, and so I had to go get makeup today. And I'll tell you what, like Ulta is an intimidating place for mature skin. I'm like, if you say mature skin again, and so there's all like the really cute girls in there to help you and stuff. I'm always scanning and scanning. I'm like, where's the one with the 5 o'clock shadow? I'm like, where is that dude that has the perfect eyes? You know what I'm talking about? Like, he's got the 5 o'clock shadow, but his eyes are on point. Like his eyebrows are perfect. His makeup, his skin looks amazing. I'm like, where's that dude? Because that's the one I need to hide my redness. So I'm like, you, what do you use? Come show me.
He has best coverage, yeah.
Yeah, you obviously know makeup. I need you to help me find the best coverage. So, but if you can't, I don't think you can tell, but on one side of my face, I have one color foundation, and on the other side of my face,
I
I
can't
have
tell.
totally two different color foundations on either side of my face because I was like, maybe I should get a winter color. It didn't. I was like, let me just stick to what I know. So
Yeah, I can't really tell in the video.
yeah,
That's so
but
funny.
and we got a massage at the mall, so it's kind of funny. We one time I was so jacked, like my neck was so jacked, and my friend was like, "Oh, you should go to the mall," because I couldn't get in anywhere, and so she's like, "Go to the
Yeah.
mall to the kiosks," like, and I'm like in the center of the mall. She's like, "Yeah, they're amazing." So I'm like, okay, so we went. So her and I think Jake went with us too that first time, and dude, best massage. Like those people are freaking amazing. And all of a sudden you're like forget you're in a kiosk in the center of the mall. And you're just like looking all crazy, your hair all crazy when you come up, make your weird
Ed would probably
sounds.
fall asleep.
Yeah. No, you don't fall asleep. I'm sore. I feel like somebody hit me with baseballs like in the back because that dude did not. He said, "Lady, you so tense." I was like, "Yeah, a little bit." He said, "You need longer time." I was like, "Yeah, I probably do, but I can't. I can't do a longer time."
Your
But that was
body
fun.
can't handle it too, because then think about how if you went longer, you wouldn't be able to move.
Yeah, man. But it's
Feeling
so
beat up.
like he like so when I was watching my friend do it, he like runs at her and like jumps on her back to crack it, and I'm like, are you gonna do that to me?" So I'm so like at the end, I know what time it is, and I'm like, "Are you gonna jump on my back?" But it
It's
feels so
so
good.
weird.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Did
Like he like runs and like Joya, like I'm like oh,
did,
like a
did
running start.
he
I'm
do
not
it?
even being sarcastic.
He
Huh?
did it to you?
Yeah, yeah. And
Did,
then you hear it goes crack, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm alive. Nothing's broke. But for real, I thought dude was gonna break my ribs. I was like, oh, that hurts so bad. But I
oh
mean,
my goodness.
now I wasn't sore before, but now I am. So glad I got that done.
I
But
know,
no,
I need
I
a
am
massage.
actually glad.
I need a massage. We've been doing a lot of work on our house. Um, just stuff that we've been wanting to get to, and mom's coming in town, so, I clean like crazy before she comes. Uh, and so, yeah, so, uh, we were on the phone with mom today. We were all on three-way. We were talking about the field trip. And, but hold on. What else was I talking about with mom?
Oh, she was just talking about how like she gets to do all the fun stuff when she comes in town, like flag football and like
Oh, yeah.
field trips and all
We have
that stuff.
football now. And
Yeah,
she always takes the boys for me. So she's like, great, flag football's now too, so I can go practice.
I'll tell you.
Yes, mom.
I'll tell you. You film one kangaroo jacking off, and you never invited back to a field trip for elementary school. I.
Yeah, we were talking about that when mom went to a field trip last time she was here, and Nicole's like, well, I don't ever get to go to a field trip
No,
anymore.
I never
Film
got invited back.
kangaroo.
when Nate when Nate was in, I guess he was in first or second grade. I can't even remember, but we went to this like farm, and they have all these exotic animals that you can pet and feed, and like you can shave a llama, and I mean it's
Yeah.
super cool. Like it's really fun. All the babies animals you can pet and stuff. And I mean, Nate and I had a blast there. It was so much fun. But they had this kangaroo, and the kangaroo was so soft. Like I didn't know kangaroos were that soft. Have you ever touched a kangaroo?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're so soft. And so I'm
Maybe I should get one
petting.
for my farm.
Maybe not. Maybe not.
Maybe a female?
Maybe. So I'm like like groping this kangaroo like, dude, you're so soft. Well, this kangaroo goes to this other mom who's really like she's so sweet, but she's so like docile, quiet, and um this kangaroo for real put his hands on her shoulder and tried to mate her. And like she's like, okay, okay. The people had to come grab the kangaroo off of her. Like, I mean, you think about like a giant dog. This thing has arms and hands, and like for real was holding on to her like you're mine, like you're my date. And I got to giggling so hard. I felt so bad for her because she was all scratched up and stuff because he was like for real gonna take her like you're mine. And he's like, yeah, pet me again. So we go through.
You
So
got them a lot.
I
Sending
know.
her.
And now I'm on a tangent, but so there was this little girl there that was so bad. You know those little badass kids? That's why I really can't do field trips and stuff. Like in Florida, I never ever signed up for the alligator farm because I'm like, I'm not going these baby kids to the alligator farm. You will die. And not on my watch. I'm not watching you jump over the fence at the alligator farm.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not doing that. So this little girl was bad, just so bad. Like she was taking the baby animals and throwing them on the ground. And nobody was doing anything. And I was like, all right, little girl, like, you're done. Like, you're done with that, you know, and I got on to her or whatever. And Nate was just mortified. And so we go to the llama place where they're shaving the llama, and she is just harassing this llama, right? Like, just being mean to it. And this thing is huge. And she turns around, like, all smart ass, like, And that llama said,
Yes. So baby, what you got to say now?
spit the biggest stupid loogie on this little girl's head. I mean, it made her head go forward. It was so big. And she starts crying. I'm hysterically laughing. Nate's hysterically laughing. I'm like, I can't be here. I'm not an adult. Like, I cannot pull it together. And that little girl got everything she deserved. I mean, he said, well, he moved his head around like, I'm working one up for you, little girl. Man, it was great. So I'm already like not an adult in the group. And so we're walking past the kangaroo, and he is over by the fence jacking off. Like for real. Like, I was like, oh my gosh. So I had to video it. Because when are you going to ever see that? Never going to see that.
Normally you send me the things. Like, you always send them to me, or I send them to you. I always send you pictures of lizards mating.
No, it's so weird. This kangaroo was like, I'll get mine. And I was
She always
videoing it.
texts me back, you're so nasty.
I know. So, I mean, but nobody would ever believe me if I didn't have the video. So, I didn't get invited back to any of the school functions, but I mean, it's fine. It's fine.
Probably better that way.
I still have the kangaroo video. I should find it, but I'm not sure I can post it. I don't know if that's X-rated or not. But I know kangaroos did that, but I guess they have hands.
Our channel is not Nat Geo channel. We can't.
It's not.
I mean, it could be.
It's not a learning channel. Or maybe it could be.
Wait,
But I think that's all I got.
Well, no, we were talking on the phone this week, and you made me spit laugh because you were talking to your friend about losing weight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was talking to my friend because, you know, it's January, everybody's losing weight or whatever. And she said that her sister-in-law was losing all this weight. And they were like, what are you doing? And she was like, well, I'm doing this yoga thing. And it's like you lay down and pat your hands next to you on the ground, like real fast. I don't know what kind of yoga thing that is. I'm not the yoga expert, obviously. And so she said her and her sister-in-law were doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. She's like, I'm not losing any weight. And she found out that her sister-in-law was on meth. She was like, well, that's a huge thing. Like, don't tell me you're losing weight. That's like telling me you're losing weight and I'm doing this exercise and you're over here doing something different. Like, we laughed so hard. She was like, it's so sad. You know, obviously I'm not taking anything away from the fact that her sister-in-law was using, but it was like,
absolutely not.
Yeah, you can't like say, oh, I'm doing this workout program. No, you ain't.
No, yeah, you're not. That's not how you're losing your weight. But and then
that came up. The reason why that came up is because I was talking to another agent, and he was talking about like doing. Oh, he was eating while I was on the phone, and it was like 3:00, and I'm like, no, I get it. I just ate my first meal, and he was like, yeah, you know, this whole new year and stuff. And he said, I'm trying to go, yeah, this whole intermediate fasting doesn't really work for me. And he said, well, there's always meth. Like, oh,
yeah, that's what made me spit laugh. That's what it was.
He's like, well, there's always meth. I was like, oh God. I was like, I mean, I do like he goes, well, you know, cosmetic teeth are not that expensive. And I'm like, oh my God. No, dude, I like my teeth too much.
That's so
I'll be
funny.
a little soft. But you had
Well,
a
so
very interesting week.
so we were outside painting our garage, and the boys like Nolan was like, I hear something in the woods, and they just kind of like were like, oh, it's the cows, like just thinking it's just the cows, whatever, no big deal, right? Well, then we go to sleep and we wake up the next morning and Ted he looks out the window and he's like, Carly, we got cows. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, there's cows in the backyard. He's like, there's two. So these cows had been in our yard like all night. There's cow patties all over the place. They got into everything. They my plants, everything. They were everywhere. So now we're up in the morning. It's cold outside. It's soaked because it was a horrible storm the night before. The huge storm rolls through,
Yeah, you had like
pours
lightning
all
and
night.
everything, right?
Oh, it was so bad. So I guess a tree had fallen on the fence when the cows got out, came into our yard, and everything is soaked. So Ted's outside trying to go get these. I said, Ted, run to the back and go shut the back gate because that's how they got in because the boys were riding the golf cart back there. So our back gate was open. So he goes to go back there where the cows are following him. And he's like, oh shit. And they're friendly cows, but we don't know this. We don't talk to these neighbors, so they're kind of like separated by woods, and we don't ever have to see them, and we just kind of kept it that way, whatever, because well, we we went over one time to introduce ourselves. She said, I said, hey, yeah, we're Carly. We just moved in. We've lived here for over 4 years now, and so but when we first moved in, I said, we just moved in. You know, we have three boys, and you know, and she goes, we know, we hear them, and I was like, oh yeah, I hear them. Sorry, you know, the little boys outside playing. Like it's weird. I know they're outside playing, but you know, and
Well,
so
it's funny
that's how
because you
our
have 5 acres, but their house is not too far from you in relation because your acreage goes back. Like it's not
right,
wide, it's long.
right. Right, but they're like up and over, and there's woods in between us, and we don't go past our house, so we don't ever have to see them really.
Yeah.
And but their cows came over, so now we're like, shit, we gotta go back over. We gotta go because we don't have their number. Like we're not borrowing sugar from them. So Ted goes to the back. He races to the back of the cows. He runs to the fence. He's trying to beat the cows because they're racing to him. They're running, and they're like 1,200 pounds at least, right? They're big cows. So they're Alfred is chasing Ted. He gets to the gate. He shuts it real fast. He's like, I can see him. I'm dying up at the front here. I'm dying because these cows are running like they think he has food because they are friendly cows and they associate their people with food. So now Ted goes around the whole back of our property and he's coming up the side. And he's like, Carly, Carly, go get the side gate. They're coming up. We can trap them in. Go get the side gate. So I open the door. Well, they hear me and they book it to the front. Big shit. Goes, now we can't shut the gate. Now. So now these cows are chasing us and they're standing by Ted. They won't let him come back in the gate. They're waiting for him. And we don't know if these cows are mean or not. We have no idea, right? And they're huge. I'm like, Ted, that thing will take you down. She will charge you. Like, be careful. They will kick you. Like, they're unpredictable. Cows are very unpredictable. So we're trying to distract the cows, and Ted runs out of the gate and like comes up and gets to the house. And then they didn't really want to come up to the porch, so we were kind of safe in that sense. But then Nolan goes to the back and he's trying to investigate where they got in and to see if the side gate's open. Well, then he walks around the front. At this point, the cows are in our front yard. So he's coming around the back of the house where the cows see him. They book it for him. So
He
he's
said,
like,
he said,
oh,
we
shit.
met eyes.
And then he runs to the front of the house. He's like, that was kind of scary.
Yeah,
I said, yeah.
he said we met eyes. He said, so they started running, I started running, and then I thought, Well, maybe they're running because I'm running. So I stopped running. He said, no, but they just kept running. So he said, so then I had to run faster.
Like, what are we doing? So finally, Ted gets to the front gate. They follow him all the way up to the front gate. He has to lock the gate, walks over to the neighbor's house. Well, they have 5 big dogs, like German Shepherds and Bull
This is the
Mastiffs.
ones with the
Like,
cows?
yes,
They have 5 big dogs?
yes.
Oh, gosh.
So, yeah. So he's like trying to yell at the house. 'Cause
Yeah, because
the
y'all not
dogs
going in that yard with all those dogs.
No, hell no. The dogs won't let him in, so he's yelling, yelling, and then he's like, finally, he said 4 of them were good. It was the one that wouldn't leave him alone.
Yeah, it only takes
So
one.
finally, he snuck up to the front door and was able to go there and knock on the door. So then he's like, yeah, so
Let
she
me in,
comes
let
to
me in,
the
let me
door.
in.
She tells him like all the dogs are pretty trained except this one's new in training, so we're working on this one. He's like, really? So you called this one up to me because she called him over? He's like, I'm scared. Like, they're big ass dogs. Like
Yeah.
they're big, and they sound ferocious. And we heard them one night going at it with something or somebody. We don't really know, but. So we're a little intimidated by the dogs. It was like, "Are you gonna go tell her?" I was like, "Hell no, I ain't going over there with them dogs."
We got 2 new cows. We got We got 2 cows, kids.
I know. So he gets her, and then she and her daughter come over, and then we were able to corral the cows with food. They went right to the girl with the food, her daughter, and we were able. At first, we're like, "Well, shoot, how are we gonna? You got a trailer? How are we gonna get them home? Like, what are we gonna do?" Because we ain't walking them back through the woods. Like the woods are underwater, and it's
Yeah,
not
and
fun.
they're like, yeah, they're kind of dicey.
Yeah, yeah. And so anyway, we went out and blocked the road with our cars, and then they were able to walk the cows down the road to the house. So it worked out perfect. It was great. But yeah, no, it was quite eventful. We're chasing cows around in the morning. First thing when we get up, we're cold rain. Ted's
So
barely
cold.
dressed. It was fun. But
Well,
yeah.
it's funny because like, the the only cow interaction I really have is with Pop Kern, which was Jake's grandfather, and he had cows, and so he would take us every time we'd go to Arkansas. He would take us to the cows because the kids love to be out there, and so Pop Kern would name the cows. So you're like supposed to number them, and it's supposed to be like 0061, and like that's how you keep log. He'd name them, and somebody told me he had to number them. So he had like a little pocket book, and it had like Sarah, and then it had like the number, and they were like random numbers. None of them made sense.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you were like, what? How do you know that? But he would hand feed them and pet them and stuff, so they were all really good with him. But we we took the kids out one time, and he had this little old beat up truck that he would just take out into the field. And so we're all in the back of this pickup truck, and we have our niece, and we're going, and all the cows are chasing us because Pop has food for them, and he honks his little horn, and they all come, and they feed them. And Rosemary's in the back screaming, "They're gonna eat me!" We're like, "No, Lenny, they're not gonna eat you. They're gonna eat me. They're gonna eat me." She was like,
But
"We're
it's
crazy."
even scarier. It was even scarier because that truck was so little. Like it was
So
a little
little.
truck.
Yeah, it
Wasn't
was like a
big.
little
We
tiny
weren't
truck.
high off the ground. Like the cows were right there. Like
Mhm.
so, it was scary. But yeah, he was up there beep 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 beep. And the whole cows would be running over the hill.
And fast. They were chasing the truck fast. But
Oh yeah.
and then he would get out, and they would like push him around, and he like just push him, and he was older, and I'm like, damn. And so one time we were there, and Pop was baling hay, and we were young, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't let this man do this. So I get out there, I'm like, I'll help you, Pop. And I could not physically pick up the bale of hay, and he was throwing them like rolls of paper towel from Costco, like just chucking them, and I'm
You're
like,
like,
"Mm."
okay,
It was so pitiful. It was, but like you see Pop doing it, and then Jake would do it, and I'm like, I could do that. No, I couldn't. I was like, this is so hard. But he was in such good shape.
Do you remember I was so determined to milk a cow? And I'm like this little city girl, and I wanted to come out and milk some cows. So Papa, he was like, I can work that. It's fine.
They
So
were
he
like,
went and got
Carly,
a
you
cow.
know that there's like a difference in cows. Like there's milk
We
cows
don't
and
have
like
we don't have milk cows.
dairy
Like
cows and like
okay.
eating cows. Like
Yeah, yeah. And so Papa went and got a heifer that had just had a calf. So so she had milk, so I could say I milked a cow.
That cow was like, "What the hell is happening?" She looked back like, excuse me. I don't think you're supposed to be touching me like that."
It
She
was
was
so
so
funny.
shocked. That cow was so shocked,
I
like,
could say
"Whoa,
I milked a
what's
cow.
happening?" Yeah, you did milk it. It had milk.
I did.
But
that was that
okay,
was a fun
so
trip. That was throwing cow manure at each other, or Dad was throwing it at us.
yeah,
That was a
it
fun trip.
it was always fun, like especially to go out with the cows, and because the kids loved it, they always go out. So, so this kind of a long story, but I'll get to the point. I promise. So, for Christmas, um, last year Christmas, not this Christmas, the like year before, I did a like hot cocoa with Santa, right? So I had this like really cool chair, and it was perfect for Santa, and Papa stepped in for me. So we go to this event, and I have the chair in the back, and I use Logan's truck, and so we have this chair strapped down in the truck. I mean, like multiple straps, right?
Yeah.
We're on the highway, like a major highway, and all of a sudden the chair flies out of the back of the truck and lands in the middle of the highway. Like traffic everywhere. I'm freaking out. I mean, what do you do? Like, thank God nobody got hurt. Our kids were behind us, so thank God they saw it coming and were able to move, and everybody's able to move. But excuse me, scared to death, right? So I called 911. I'm like, hey, this chair just fell out of my truck. Like, I don't know what to do. I can't get to it. So I pull over. 911 comes. They clear the highway. They're like, do you want your chair? I'm like, no, I'm good. Like, it was broken in a
But
thousand pieces.
they let you leave it?
Well, no, they had to come clear it because I couldn't get out in the highway. I mean, it's like a
Oh, okay.
6-lane highway. So, like, there's
I
no
was gonna
way.
say, aren't they gonna get you for littering? If you were like, no, I'm
I,
good, you can leave.
well, no,
Just
I
leave my
mean,
chair on the side of the road.
well, they couldn't leave it there. They had to go get
I
it.
wouldn't
Like,
have
so
even claimed it. I'd be like, that's not my chair. That
I
ain't
saw
goes
the
on my
chair fly out. It's in the middle of the right. But I felt so bad about it. And so I was expecting to get a ticket or something. But they never did. They were like, I'm like, so do I need to wait here for you? And she's like, well, if you want your chair. And I was like, oh, no, I don't want the chair. Like, it was like 1,000 pieces. And they were like, no, we're
Yeah.
good then. We have emergency crews clearing off the highway. And I was like, oh, thank God. But I was like sick to my stomach the whole night because I'm like, that could have been so bad, right? It hit somebody else's car, hit my kids. I mean, I was just
Yeah.
a wreck. And so we're sitting at the table, and my whole body, right? My whole thing. And Papa's like, oh, that's no big deal. He's like, I've dropped stuff before. And I'm like, you have? And he said, yeah, I lost 2 cows in town. I was like, what? What? Why do you not share these stories with us sooner? Papa has like the best stories ever.
I know.
And so,
He really does.
yeah, he said him and Pop were moving cows from one farm to the other. And so they had him in the trailer. And he said he got through like the middle of town, and the trailer unlatched and 2 cows rolled out onto this like the intersection. And then the force of the trailer shut itself and locked it. And they had 3 cows in the trailer. And so when they pulled up to the farm, they opened the trailer. There's only 1 cow. And Pop said, Dad, were we moving 3 cows? He said, yeah. So, but they had him baffled because the trailer was locked. So they
Yeah.
ended up going
I
back
know,
into.
like, how did they disappear?
Weren't
And
there
we didn't even know.
one, two, one, only one? There's only 1 cow. There's like, and it's not like you're going like.
They both thought they were losing their minds. They're like,
Yeah. Did we not load the
So-
other cows? Like, what did they? What happened? But I mean, it's not like they were going from one state to another. They were like 20 minutes away, right?
yeah,
so.
yeah.
So they turn around and they go back to town, and some guy stops him and he's like, hey, are you looking for cows? He's like, yeah, how'd you know? He's like, they're over here. the, guy, the guy was behind him. And he said, all of a sudden, all he saw was these 2 cows roll out of the trailer and get up, so he followed him. How do you just lose cows? But it was so funny. We laughed so hard. I was like, you're crazy. But Papa always has
Didn't
crazy
you
stories
have-
like that.
Didn't you have a run-in with cows out?
Oh,
country?
yes. Yes. So every spring here, it's pretty funny because, where we live, we have these really beautiful neighborhoods. I mean, $1 million houses, and then it's like a Longhorns, like just in the middle of the city. And then you're like in a neighborhood, and then you have like llamas, and then you go a little further and it's alpacas and goats, and I mean
Camels.
it's just like, yeah, oh yeah, we have a camel. That's pretty cool, and a zebra. It's like a rescue farm, yeah. When we first moved here, I was like, "There's a camel," and my kids were like, "Mom, there's not a camel in Texas." I was like, "That was a camel." I turned around, went back. Sure enough, it was a camel. Now they had 2, maybe 3.
And then everybody who came into town, you always bring them by there.
Oh yeah, because it's so cool. Because there's a zebra
Zebras.
and 2 camels. I'm like, how do
That's where you got on that the I need to get a camel.
Oh yeah, I still think
That's
I'm
where
going to send you a
came
camel.
up, yeah.
They did
Yeah.
sell that farm. I wonder where they're moving. Maybe I could buy the camels. So I'll come through Florida. Could you imagine if I had the camels in the back
Yeah,
of
the
the
camel showed up in my front yard.
You're
Cows,
welcome.
camels.
You're welcome. I did try to get you some donkeys. And if you ever want to be entertained, go read like the Craigslist version of like free
You told
donkeys.
us this the last time with the donkeys. Yeah.
They're mean. They're like, it took 6 guys to corral them, but you can have them if you can get them in the trailer.
Yeah.
No, thank you. But anyway, so like every spring, the babies get out of the fence because they can fit through the fence where the mamas can't. And so the babies are always on one side and the mamas on the other. Well, I was driving through this like back roads in the country. I say the country. I'm in Dallas. I'm in the back roads. I'm like more country, right?
Yeah.
And it's like a pretty fast road, right? It's a 2-lane, but there's nobody out there, so I get to go fast with my little car. And so I'm zooming around, and all of a sudden there's these 2 cows running down the street. And I'm like, holy shit, there's cows, like cows, like cows. And the people behind me are flying, and there's a semi coming, and I'm like, this could be so bad. So I'm honking, I got my flashers on and stuff. The lady behind me is riding my ass. And I'm like, there are cows. Like, can you not see the cows? Like, what do you want me to do? So, you always have to call and, like, find out. You got to call the police, and they, like, find your location. And it's not my first time I've done this. So they're like, okay, we know where you are. We're coming. And I'm like, okay, I'm just kind of keeping them off this side of the road, so they don't run and trying to, like, let people know they're coming. So I'm going, like, I don't know, 5 miles an hour or something, 10 miles an hour. Well, I finally get these cows, like, to where I'm keeping them. And I'm like running, and I keep them going, and they run into this pasture, and I'm like, whoo, they're in a pasture. Like, they're off the road, they're in a pasture. I see them dip into the gate, and I'm like, awesome. So I'm going back down there like 2 days later, and I look over, and there's a bull in that pasture. I'm like, uh-oh. I was chasing those cows into that bull pasture. I'm like, oh, my bad. You now have more baby cows.
So funny. Well, we were trying to move these cows, and I'm going out. I'm like, okay, I'll go on the road and try to block it, right? So I pull out, and I'm like kind of in the middle of the road, and there's a truck coming. So I'm like doing my flashers, like waving my hand, because he's hauling tail, and people fly down our road. So I'm like,
you would
acting
think
a
you would
fool.
see somebody walking down the street with cows.
Well, at this point, they were just coming on our driveway, so they weren't like technically on the road yet. So, but I'm like frantically waving my arm, like, stop! Like, he was not gonna stop. And then he like, pulls up nonchalantly, and I'm like, we're moving cows. Like, we're moving cows. Our neighbor's cows got out. We're moving cows. There's a young girl trying to, move them. And he's like, oh, okay, all right, yeah. Yeah, where? Over here? This one over here? And I'm like, no, this one over here. Like, what the hell does it matter? Just stop. Like, and then he's like, they need a bull. I know somebody with a bull. And I'm like, what the hell if I know? Just moving cows.
Look, it's been a morning, okay? I don't really have time for this.
I said
But I guess-
my neighbor's cows.
But
I
guess,
don't know.
But I guess if I'm not
It's
busy
so
later,
random.
I could come over and walk the bull
Yeah.
down.
Hang on a second. Let me go see if they need a bull. Give me a second. All right. Like, I was like, this is so random. I know somebody got a buddy with a bull.
I did have plans to go to Bed Bath & Beyond if I had time today, but I guess I could walk a bull. So Oh my gosh. I know what I forgot to tell you. I went to bingo this
Yeah.
week. And I went with one of my good friends. She's so much fun. I love spending time with her. But she had to come late because she was, 'cause she was at another event. And so, like, I'm sitting at a table with women I've never met or whatever. Her husband was there and I know him. And anyway, he was calling the bingo. And he's like a big
Yeah.
dude, like really tall, big guy. And these
Yeah.
women were heckling him. I felt so bad. They were like, "Go slower, go faster," blah, blah, like yelling. I'm like, oh, I've never seen him like cower. I'm like, whoa, I know how to get that big boy down. Like, but it was like a room full of women. It was so much fun. It was, I mean, I'm really getting old. I'm like loving bingo. But so we're sitting at this table, and I introduced myself, and I don't like to let my crazy shine right away, so I'm like being cordial and hi, how are you? Nice to meet you, blah blah blah.
Reserved.
Yeah, and so my friend comes, and of course we're like, oh, and I said to the lady across from me, I'm like, oh, well, what do you do? And she's like, I'm a therapist. I was like, oh, damn. Like, you should have told me that first. I gotta really watch what I say now. Because, like, I'm always, like, thinking that if you're a therapist, you're gonna, like, you're analyzing you, right? Do you ever feel that way, like, when you meet somebody?
Oh yeah.
I'm like, oh, shit. So I made, like, a joke. I was like, you're gonna want to schedule something with me after this night is over. You're gonna be like, I think you should come see me and talk. How's Wednesday at 3? So we got to giggling so hard that night. I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody wet their pants, um, but I mean, we were laughing so hard. This woman came up to us after, and she was like, "Y'all must really love each other because you were laughing so hard. I was trying to hear what you were saying." I was like, "Oh, thank God you didn't hear what we were saying." Like, it was so embarrassing. We just laughed so hard. I'm pretty sure we probably could have won bingo, but we weren't listening. Like, numbers were going by. We were crying,
Yeah. Yeah.
because we were laughing about, all of the stuff, right? That we giggle about, like that butt plug came up again that we talked about before. And I'm like, how?
Oh, no.
Like, I don't even want to know how it works. I'm afraid to look it up. I'm even afraid to say it on my phone because then I'll just start getting things like ads.
Oh no, you are. Because my phone's by us. I don't want it to hear.
No, but we just giggled so hard because I'm like, how does that stay in? Like, I put a suppository in and I'm walking to the bathroom, like, squeezing my butt. Like, is a torpedo gonna come out? On your tippy toes. You're like, careful, careful, go straight to bed. This one was dancing. I'm like, what the hell? Oh, it was so funny. We just got to giggling so hard. But yeah, it was pretty fun. So I kept saying, okay, so you're going to see me on Wednesday at 3? Like, I'm pretty sure she probably has me scheduled, actually, for Wednesday.
You probably don't. You
Yeah,
should
I
probably
would.
find out where your session's at gonna take place at.
I should, I should probably go to a session.
So speaking of heckling, you reminded me of that field trip that we were talking about earlier, the one that Mom met me at.
Yeah.
I went, and it was with Dane's class, and they're second graders. So we were sitting front row at a mermaid play, and the teacher, there wasn't enough seats for the teacher to sit with the class, so she's off and away, like pretty far away from. She can still see the kids, but she's not in a range where she can talk to them or anything, or like
Yeah.
reprimand them or tell them to stop or whatever. So that was now my job because I'm sitting on the row with them. Well, we're sitting front row to this play, and there's a little boy sitting 3 seats over from me. He's heckling them the whole play. I was like, no, don't quit. Because he's like, oh, what are you wearing? What is she going to do now? And he's yelling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was so embarrassed. And trying to tell us, but the whole play. And then they came out and were like wearing tights, like, and women were. And I'm like, oh my gosh, shh, like just please don't say anything. He's like, what are they wearing? Like, he's losing his mind. I'm like, this kid is heckling the whole time, the entire play.
And he's in second grade.
Second grade, the whole time, and he's not quiet. I'm like doing like poking down the line, like, hey, get him, don't be quiet, don't stop, no more.
That is awful.
Never, Never again am I gonna sit. I'll be like, teacher, here, you can
Here, you
sit
can have
here.
my seat.
I'll
You can,
go.
I'll stand. I'll stand through the
I
play.
did too. I offered it to her. She's like, no, it's okay. I can see him from over here. I'm
Yeah,
like,
she knows.
oh.
She knows.
She
She
knew
knows
the
better.
whole time.
She's like, I'm taking a break from these kids.
It was hook, line, and sinker. I fell into that.
We went we went to a comedy show. You know, it's just a little comedy club here in town. And
Yeah.
and our you kind of buy your seats, and then it's not like you just sit wherever. They put you like at a table, and they put other people at the table with you. Well, we
Yeah.
went with a friend of ours, and he's a lot of fun, and so it was, we were like, this can be really fun. And so we're center table in this little tiny comedy club. There's probably 30 people, right? Like
Yeah.
in the audience. And we're literally in the middle. And they start, and he starts calling out. And Jake and I looked at each other like, oh shit, he's a heckler. Like, we're sitting with him. Like, we can't be here with him. Like, we were so
No.
nervous. We could not pull it together. He ended up being okay. Like, he didn't heckle through the whole thing, but we were like, oh, like, you have to really know who you're going with before you go to that.
To a comedy show because then they call you out the whole time and they
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Especially
like,
if
no.
you're the heckler.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny because I bought, oh gosh. Okay. I'm not the best gift giver. Like, I suck at gift giving. I just am terrible. Bree is like the best gift giver. She sent me a pop head of herself with her therapy dog in it. That's what I got in the mail this week. I was like, what is wrong with you? But so I'm a terrible gift giver. But I bought Jake Jim Gaffigan tickets, and we love
Yeah.
Jim Gaffigan. And I bought him at the casino, so it was going to be like a really fun night. I was so excited. I had like row D, so I was like, hell yeah! Like, we're gonna be right up in the front. It's gonna be awesome. Like, not front row, but like perfect. And so I'm
Yeah.
bragging to him like, it's gonna be great. I get great seats. And we walk in, and we start at the front, and I'm like, oh, let's see. Okay, this is row. Okay, we're the last row.
You didn't look at the seating chart, sister?
No. I was like, row D, that's perfect.
Could you even hear him?
We were the last row. Jake's like, these are great seats. but that's not the worst one. So the reason why I like the mall massages is because when we first moved to Dallas, I bought Jake and I couples massages. And so I'm so cheap, and I bought them on Groupon. And so the Groupon pictures were beautiful, like spa and like serene and like all white, and I mean, just like white linens and white, I mean, just like crisp, right? The walls. And so I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. And so we were gonna go because it was downtown Dallas, and so in downtown Dallas there's a street called Harry Hines, and Harry Hines runs like through Dallas, through the city, and then out to the other edge. Well, we were new to town, and so I was like, oh, this would be fun. We'll go have lunch downtown, and we'll go to massages. So we're driving through Harry Hines, and you're in a bad area when you start seeing like bars on the window, and then like cash for bond, for bail bonds, and then liquor stores have bars on them and all that stuff. You're like, oh, okay. And then get a little further, and there's streetwalkers, and you're like, oh, okay. And Jake's like, where are you taking me? So we get there, and it's like a vacant building, and like a big office building, but they have their like office in there. And Jake's like, I am not taking my clothes off here. Like, what are they gonna, like, this happy ending's like, what's happening? He's like, I'm not taking my clothes off. They're gonna rob us, and I'll be naked. I said, I can't not see it. I have to go in and see it. So I go in, and I'm like, I'll just go in and cancel our stuff. So I go in, and it's like in one of the office rooms in this building, right? And they have their desk in the closet, like the broom closet. Yeah. So like the desk is at the entrance to the door, and like just the distance of a broom closet, like maybe 3 feet, and just a chair. And so I'm like, we're going to cancel. And so people were coming out of the door. So I looked in, and this is the part that like I really have to question my values. I look in and I'm like, oh God, they don't even have matching linen, so I can't be here. Like the two beds had different like Goodwill sheets, like like a character sheet
Probably
and
work.
like flowers. I was like, what? You don't even have matching sheets? Like what? And the tiles were missing out of the ceiling. It was a hot mess. So I'm not allowed to book massages anymore because I could have gotten us killed.
I know. That is just crazy though. Like I wouldn't think that they would go through the effort of Groupon though if it was
Well,
that.
they like stole the photo. They like did iStock photos or something. Like that was not the place. Those photos did not show that place at all.
No,
I'm like,
no.
this is terrible. So I've learned now to read reviews
Yeah,
because reviews are important.
they are. Especially if you shop on Shein.
Yeah. So, I have,
Brought shorts, I'm like, ooh, this is never gonna fit me.
I have to go to the reviews on that, and I look down on them, and I like find the ones with pictures, and I find the lady that's my size or
In
bigger.
it.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, she looks good in that. Okay, I could get it. But I'm like, oh, I don't know. It doesn't look very good on her. I'm not gonna get it.
Well, don't worry, because there's always meth. Help you get
I
those.
know. I know. It's, whew, man. This whole like, I was laughing because I have this app on my phone that I signed up for. It's Fit Coach, and it's like a great app because they like show you the exercises to do. So you put it on, and they show you how to do it, and then you do it with the app, and you know, it was really great when I did it like 3 days. It was fantastic. But I was like, okay, so I canceled the app, but I still get stupid texts on my phone, and it's like, you didn't meet your workout today. I'm like, how the fuck do you know if I met my workout? Like,
Yeah.
I'm not even, I canceled it. And I'm still getting texts from it every day telling me that I'm
They're
slacking.
following you. They know where you're at.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm like, are you kidding? So we were laughing at work the other day. I was like, look, I can still get texts, but the donut shop sends me texts too that say, we miss you. I'm like, I miss you too.
I'll be there tomorrow.
I know. I'm like, how is the donut shop going to text you, I miss you? Like, what? You just want me to die? Like, what is going on? I'm like, yeah, I do miss you. I'll come by and get one.
I'm coming tomorrow.
Okay, so speaking of donuts, okay, I saw this thing.
Yeah.
Thing, and I'm gonna to surprise you with it. So it's gonna might take you a second, but this I don't know, probably on TikTok, but which I'm glad TikTok's not gone. But because what would I do in my spare time? Um, it was, what is the fattest thing you've ever done? like
What?
like that was the question. What's the fattest thing you've ever done? And I was like, I've ordered food in the drive-through where I was like, what? What do you want?
Every time you go through the drive-through, you mute me.
Ted mutes me too whenever he goes through. I'm like, Fat Boy, I know what you ordered,
Yeah.
but I've ordered like a kid's meal just to be like I'm bringing a family meal home.
I don't know what the fattest thing I've ever done. I don't know.
Yeah, you have to think about it and let me know. But I'm for real. I've ordered a kid's meal just to be like, oh yeah, I'm bringing this to my family. I'm not gonna eat it in the car.
I mean, I got put on bed rest for one of my babies. And, on my way home, I was like, I'm not gonna be able to eat out anymore. I'm going to Chick-fil-A. So I went through the drive-through and order all the food and get all this stuff. I'm so excited for all this food, you know, because I'm eating for two, so I don't care. So, and I'm waiting, and I had like instant karma because the kid comes out with the garbage can, lets the garbage can go, and it rolls down and hits the back of my van, busted off my light. I was like, damn it! This is what I get for being fat.
For sneaking away.
Yeah,
And
I was
getting
like,
food.
I'm going. I don't care. I know what the doctor said, but I'm going.
When I was pregnant with, I don't know which one. I've been on bed rest with all of them. Oh, I think it was Nate. I was on bed rest with Nate, and I just left the doctor's office, and she put me on bed rest, and she's like, go straight to bed, don't get out or whatever. Well, I had already agreed to take my friend to the airport, and I was like, well, I can't not take her to the airport. I mean, I'm just driving or whatever. I'm like, what's the harm? So I take her to the airport. I get out and I give her a hug goodbye, and I look over and there's the news, like the news camera. I was like,
Oh.
I'm like staring right,
Yeah,
uh.
like, yeah.
Yeah, they were
You're
like doing a
probably
report of the airport, and I'm like, oh god, like I might as well just wave to my doctor, like, hi, Dr. McLennan, I'm not in bed, because she would yell at me. She yelled at me all the time.
I know, me too. She was my doctor.
Yeah, she was a great doctor, but man, she would give you like a hard time. Like she was like, "What did you expect?" I'm like, I don't really know." But well, do
Well,
you have
that was
any
my
plans this
sister.
week? Do you have any plans this week?
No, I don't think so. Oh, mom's coming. That's my
Oh,
plan.
it's your birthday this week.
Is it this week or
Yeah,
later?
yeah, dude, it's this week.
Oh, yeah, it's my birthday.
Oh, I
You
think
know
our
what?
podcast falls on your birthday.
I always forget that it's my birthday month, and then I don't take advantage of it. And then my birthday's at the last of the month, so I'm like, damn, I missed a whole month.
Yeah, you can be going to Starbucks on your birthday. You can go get free food. You get all kinds of stuff on your birthday.
No, I mean with my family. I always
Oh,
claim that, oh no, I can't do this. It's my birthday
you
month.
better get on it. You got a week.
I can't put the baby to bed. It's my birthday month. Can't do
Hmm.
laundry. It's my birthday month. That's how it is around here.
Yeah, you better get on it. You got a week, sister.
I know, dang. Well, yes. So yes, that's happening this week. How about you?
I don't I don't know. Let's see what the week brings. I had this showing this week, and it was a lead that was given to me, and so we have this cool program, and it you can put the phone number in, and it'll tell you if like the person has any infractions or any like legal stuff against them. And so
Yeah.
I had like this weird like feeling. I was like, let me check this. I should check all of them. But some of them you're like,
Probably
oh,
should.
it's fine. Yeah, but I mean, some of them you're like, okay. So I put a number in. It has 15 infractions. 3 of them were aggravated kidnapping. Aggravated kidnapping. And like
Yeah.
not in the same situation. Like one was like 2008 and one was in 2016. And like dude was in prison. It was like paroled on. I was like, what? I'm not meeting you in a vacant house. You crazy. You can't
Scary.
get the lease anyway.
Yeah, that's scary. Oh, you better vet all these people.
Yeah. So I like, I think that's the weirdest part about real estate is meeting somebody like at a house that you don't, it's like all the things you tell your kids not to do. Like I'm
I know.
doing.
Meeting a stranger at an empty house.
Yeah.
Nobody at it. Oh
Sure, I'll
my
meet
God.
you at the vacant house. That's no problem at all. Sure, I'll meet you on 25 acres. Yeah, let's walk to the back.
Let's walk to the back of the woods. That's a great idea.
Great idea. I actually did meet
I
somebody
even brought my boots. Maybe a shovel, some rope.
some
What
duct
else do you
tape.
need?
Oh,
Ready to
good
go.
call. You brought duct tape. That's awesome. Yeah, let's go look at the back.
Yeah, because we might need to duct tape some trees to know our way back. Yeah, good one.
I've shown property, and I mean, like it depends on the time, like the time of the year in Texas, and I'll show like big pieces of property, and my Mercedes not going over there. Like I'm not driving through that. Like
Yeah.
you can drive your car, but um, but I met I met those guys at this property, and the agent called me and he was like, "Hey, I just want to give you a heads up. Like, this has been kind of like weird. People have been like coming but not coming, and he was kind of nervous about it. So he's
Yeah.
like, well, maybe I'll just meet you out there. And it had cows, and he said, just don't let the cows out. Whatever you do, they'll try to get out. I'm like, oh, great. I got to deal with this kidnapper and all these cows. Awesome. So of course I'm carrying. And so I have my gun in my front, like in my front, and you can definitely see the outline. Like I wasn't hiding it,
Yeah.
like, and so we meet them there, and there's 3 guys, and yeah, and they're like, "Oh, do you want to come back with us to the back and look at the creek?" I'm like, "No, I'm gonna wait here with the cows so they don't get out. Like the owner should be here." I'm like, "What in the world?" But I was like, they were really, really like nice guys, gentlemen, or whatever. And I'm like, were they nice because they could see the outline of my gun? Like, or were they just nice? But yeah, it
Or
was
were they
always.
trying to coerce you back to the creek to murder you?
I mean, listen, I still got it. Still got it. Okay, like
Do.
I do. Yeah, I told Carly, I said I want to go to New York City. I've never been to New York City, and Carly's like, "Are you sure it's so dangerous? You know they're beating up old ladies in the street." I was like, "Oh shit, now I can't go." Like, like I'm not like I'm not worried about being kidnapped and sold, but like beating up old ladies on the street, shit. That I could borderline that. I could borderline that. Look, I'm young, but not too young. Look, I'm in premenopause, but not menopause yet. It's fine. You can't beat me up on the street. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. Okay, so you know I like to talk shit all the time. Well, so I did something the other day and I couldn't do it. I was so weak. Like I physically couldn't do it. And I had like a come apart by myself because I was like, I can't do this. Like physically my body would not do it. And I had a reality. I was like, oh, like I can't talk shit until I get so a little bit stronger. I was like, I can't be running my mouth at Costco if I can't hold my own. Like I can't be.
I know, because people look at you the wrong way. You're like, what? I'm like,
You want some?
sisters, come on. Road rage. You can't. They're going to get out and beat you. Quit. You can't be yelling at people like that. She'll put her window down and yell at somebody, cutting her off.
Yeah, I told some young kid he was threatening me. I was like, get out, get out.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, don't get out. Don't get out.
Get out.
Get out.
Get out. What
No.
are you going to do? You're going to get out of your car?
I'll spank you like I'm your mama. That's what I told him. So I had a realization that I have to start working out because I was like, if I'm going to talk smack, I got to actually be able to throw. So this arm thing really has gotten me. But I'm getting strength back, so it's fine.
Is it?
You want some? You want some? You want to find out? You want to fuck around and find out and see how strong my left hand is these days?
Well, you guys remember when we sized up my hands, and my right hand is so much bigger than my left.
Oh yeah, you have a pimp hand.
My pimp hand. So for years I was like, "Hey, you want some of my pimp hand?"
I have a friend I think she does taekwondo. I don't know. She's freaking amazing. She grew up with her dad was like a teacher of it. They had like a dojo. I mean, she was amazing. But I told her, I said, I just want to go with you. And she was like, why would you do that? And I was like, I don't think I'm going to beat you. I just want to know how long I can stand. Like, how far can I get? Like, she's like a black belt. I'm like, can I get to yellow? Like, can I hold my own until like blue? Like, I don't even know the colors. But I'm like, I just want to see how long I just want to know how much shit I can talk. Like, how much.
Like how big of a person I can handle.
Right. Like, at what point do I need to shut my mouth? And I met some girl at this house the other day, vacant house again. Same house, actually. And she was just being so weird. Like, so weird. And, you know, when you get that, like, weird feeling, like, and she's smaller than you. And so I'm like, I sized her up. Like,
size don't matter. Don't you want to go? Size don't matter.
Was it not the size of the dog in a fight, but the fight in the dog?
Yeah.
You like a spider monkey on crack.
I'll jump on you like a spider monkey.
So I'm like, I could take her. Like, I'm fine. But she was so weird. She's like going upstairs. And she's like, well, aren't you going to come with me? And I was like, no. Why? Go. You don't need me to go upstairs. Like, it was just so random.
I wonder if she was scared, though. She's probably like, somebody's up there.
Big girl, you can go with me upstairs.
Yeah, come on.
I remember, like, obviously we would fight growing up, but we never really fought, but I would get you so mad and you would come at me like a freaking rabid squirrel. And I would just hold your head and you would just.
Rabbit, squirrel, and meth.
Yeah, you would fight, throw your arms at me and you couldn't reach. You'd be so mad. And one time Carly got me pinned down on the floor. And she was on top of me and she was like, I got you. And she was all like proud, like it was like your biggest moment ever. And I said, do you have me or do I have you? And her face was like, what? She tried to lift up, and I had her hair under me, so she couldn't go anywhere.
I remember that. Damn
Your
it,
face
long
was like
hair.
straight fear, like, oh, shit, you do have me. And you just ran your mouth for like 5 minutes. That was the best. But I think you could take me now. Stupid arm.
Think.
Yeah.
My kids love to fight me because it's kind of like it, I I don't really go easy on them, especially now because they're bigger. So like I really have to fight my way out of it now. Like sometimes I'm like, shit, they're gonna get me. Like I can't I can't do this anymore. But it's almost like they've like graduated up a level. Like if they can take mom now, like
Yeah.
Nolan can take me now. So he's like graduated a level. Like he feels bigger now. Like he's top dog.
Oh man, my kids got me one night. Logan, and you have to understand, like my Logan is so not aggressive, and he's just so sweet. So this is really out of character for him. That's what I'm gonna go with. But the three of them ganged up on me, and Jake's upstairs with his noise canceling headphones, so he can't hear anything. I'm like, great. If I'm ever getting murdered in my house, it's never gonna help me. And I'm downstairs. We're in our guest room. And the kids have me pinned, and Logan has his arms like he picks me up like a baby. Like no, I'm like no weight for him at all. He just throws me around like a rag doll, picks me up, but he has his arms wrapped around me so that his right hand is tickling my left side and his left hand is tickling my right side, and I cannot move. He's laying on me, so my feet aren't on the ground. I can't do anything. Emily and Logan are running around me, tickling, like jumping and tickling me and doing stuff to me. While I'm pinned, I'm like screaming. I wet the pant, like wet my bed, like I can't. Jake can't hear anything, so Jake comes down and I'm like, "That's it, get in the room. Dad's gonna talk to you." And so I lock him in our room, and I'm like, "Get him, Jake!" And he's like, "I'm not gonna get them." And so then they attack me again. So we're wrestling on the ground, and Nate's knee went in and gave me a black eye. He felt so bad. He was like, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I like this black eye." It was so funny. But yeah, the kids, boy, they. I can't compete against Logan. Not anymore with Nate
None of
either.
them now. You can't compete against any of your kids. They
Yeah,
don't
no, I
take you.
can't. Yeah, no. It's a good thing they love me. But
Yeah, yeah. Well, very good, Sis Daryl. I think that was fun. Thank
yeah,
you.
I'll see you next week on your birthday.
Yay.
Yeah, stay warm down there in Florida. It's cold
It's
there.
supposed to be really cold. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The next 2 days it's supposed to be freezing, so we'll see.
Yeah, it's supposed to have a wind chill of -1 here.
Ooh.
I won't
Nope.
know. I'm not gonna know. I'm not going out.
You should stay inside.
Yeah, I already got my makeup. I'm good. We're fine.
Okay. Okay. So good.
All right, love you.
All right.